Good afternoon, Solo Wheelers. It is 11:55 on a Wednesday, September 30th. A few days ago, I tested the range of the original Solo Wheel, and I got a wonderful 11.24 miles out of it. So today, we're going to see the range of the new Solowheel Extreme. Now, for some slight differences between the original Solo Wheel and the Extreme, one, you notice that the Extreme is bigger. It weighs about 30 pounds, so about 3 pounds more than the original Solo Wheel. The foot pedals are bigger, as you can see. Part of the design, if you tipped over on the original Solo Wheel, you had a chance to scuff up some of this rubberized padding over here. On the Extreme, as you can see, it's kind of ridged, it bows out a little bit, so when it falls, you're basically scratching up the foot plate and this rubbery surface here, and this area right here stays pretty much unscathed, which I like. Another thing with the Solo Wheel is a charging port. So the original Solo Wheel, you had a 3-pin charging port, as you can see. On the Extremes, you have almost like an Apple magnetized port, which I prefer actually. You just put the contact next to it, the magnets keep it in place, and if someone trips over it, it pops right off, no problem. Now, whereas the original Solo Wheel you could ride in either direction, this is clearly the front. So when you turn it on, give it a few seconds, there you go. You've got a set of blue lights, and as you are riding, the bars will actually go down to let you know that the charge is dropping. And so this is your tail light, so you definitely ride forward going this way. One thing I do miss about the Extreme that you don't have on the original Solo Wheel, you'll notice that I bought a Think Tank shoulder harness. And all I did was I put some large binder clips through the holes right here. And now with a little carabiner clip attachment right here from the shoulder strap, I can wear this as a backpack. I have these rubber bands here to keep these little pins from falling out. But on the Solo Wheel Extreme, because the foot plates are a different design, I have not figured out how to rig up this convenient little harness. So, in a few moments, I will take this Extreme out on the track, and we're going to see how far it goes on a full charge, riding at full speed, non-stop without stopping. I'm assuming I'm going to go a little bit farther because the battery is the same. It's the new Sony 16-mile range battery. Again, 16 miles is what you're going to get under real-world riding conditions, which means every time you come to a stop, regenerative braking kicks in and puts power back into the wheel. But since we're going to go non-stop, it's never going to have a chance to recharge. But since the wheel is an 18-inch wheel versus a 16-inch wheel on the original, bigger wheel means greater distance traveled. So I'm eager to test this out in just a moment. Okay, as you can see, it's 4 o'clock, Wednesday, September 30th. I'm back on my track here in Ann Arbor because it's a nice place to test out the wheel on a flat, even surface. Temperature is 65 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a 7 mile per hour wind coming from the northeast with gusts of 15 miles an hour. As always, I'm going to fire up my Endomondo app to measure how far we're going to be going today. But before we start, I'm going to put on a playlist in my iPad because it's going to be, or iPod I should say, because it's going to be a long ride. Okay, distance, duration, average speed, average pace. And I guess next thing we have to do is turn it on. And here we go, we are starting now. Now with this Solowheel Extreme, I too also had Inventist unlock the top speed of 15 miles an hour, but because the wheel is so much larger, it doesn't feel like you're going that much faster than a factory original Solowheel, I believe. Right now I'm only going at about 11 miles an hour, but I think it's just going to stay steady at about 11 miles an hour, whereas the other Solowheel went about 13. Those of you that are not used to riding an Extreme compared to original Solowheel, it's a lot easier to ride. Bigger wheel, bigger pedals. The programming has been changed a little bit, so it reacts better to your leaning, I guess. So you feel much more stable. And so I'm going to be on this for probably an hour, so I'm going to turn off the video and we'll catch up to me in a few seconds. I've just cleared a mile. My pace is 5 minutes and 5 seconds, I assume. I don't know if it's because I'm riding into a 15 mile an hour headwind, but I feel like I'm kind of slow, actually. My average speed is about 11.5 miles an hour, which is 2 miles slower than what I was getting on the Solowheel that had its speed unlocked just a few days ago. So I don't know if Inventist remembered to unlock the top speed of this vehicle, because it doesn't feel very fast. I don't know if that's, again, due to riding into a headwind and also riding with a wheel that's 2 inches bigger. So as you can see, I'm holding steady at about 11.8 miles an hour. A little disappointing compared to the other wheel I was riding. On the bright side, if this wheel has not been unlocked to go 15 miles an hour, that just means I'm going to be able to go farther. So I will turn this on again later on. So 1.25 miles in, many miles to go. Alright, as you can see, I'm slowly approaching 3 miles, 2.96. Again, I don't know if it's because I'm riding into a headwind, but not getting the 13 miles an hour that I was getting in the other Solowheel. Alright, 3 miles, 15 minutes and roughly 15 seconds. One thing I do want to add about riding the Extreme, it's a smoother ride. Due to the bigger tire, when you do ride over grass, once you practice and you get good with it, it's really this vehicle with the off-road tire really eats terrain. It's actually a lot of fun to actually go over bumps because you barely feel them. I know that in the original Solowheel, before Inventist had unlocked the top speed, I was getting about 12 miles an hour as a top speed just straight out of the box. And right now I'm holding steady at about 11.9 miles an hour on this Extreme. So again, I repeat, I don't know if Inventist remembered to unlock the top speed for me, because they said it was supposed to go 15 miles an hour, and I'm kind of leaning forward pretty aggressively, and it's holding steady at 11.9. Alright, we are soon to be approaching the halfway point, hopefully. 6 miles in about 30 minutes. Speed is still about 12 miles an hour. Yeah, there we go. 6 miles in 30 minutes, holding steady at about 5 minutes per mile. So that averages out to be about 12 miles an hour. Alright, as we're slowly approaching the 8 mile mark, I'm going to have to pause this test for a while and stretch my legs. Here we go. Let me slow down a little bit as soon as we hit 8 miles. There we go. Just going to turn it off real quick. It was not the brightest idea to do a Solowheel test in shoes that I've never worn before. This is the first time I haven't broken them in yet. Other Solowheeler owners out there, let me know. Do your feet ever get sore? I have very flat feet, no arches in my feet. And so as a result, when I'm riding the wheel for long periods of time, I'm not lifting my feet off the wheel, and so my feet start to go numb, like painfully numb, after about 5-6 miles in. So right now I am just going to stretch my feet for a little bit, and then we'll continue our test. All right, we're back at 8 miles. I was able to stretch my feet, and we're going to continue our torture test. And here we go. Okay, I'm at 9.76 miles an hour, and it's already shaking, which is odd because there's still blue lights. This is weird. Was not expecting it to die so soon. And there you have it. This is a little disappointing.